In our culture, it is natural to have a high regard and respect for those men and women that keep us safe. Those who work in the armed forces, firefighting, emergency response, and law enforcement professionals are naturally put on a pedestal. This is especially true for law enforcement personnel. Since law enforcement is intended, in a very broad sense, to protect good people from bad people, and the fact that most people consider themselves good people, it is natural for people to give and seek loyalty with law enforcement officers, even when their support for the police is a little overenthusiastic. However, there is a line that can be crossed. That is when that support results in the giving of special favor by police. Special favoritism practiced by law enforcement is not only very unprofessional, it can sometimes be unlawful. Misconduct by law enforcement in the city of Antioch is neither new nor rare. In fact, it has been so consistent that the Antioch Police Department has actually developed a well-ingrained culture of misconduct. It is a culture that exploits a lack of accountability. It is a culture that has decided that laws, even the rules of society, do not apply to the department. It is a culture that follows a set of morals and standards that are contrary to the officer's sworn oath to uphold the Constitution. It is a sick culture where the individual officer considers themselves free to administer the duties of his position as he or she sees fit. The State Justice Department has recognized the rogue culture of the Antioch Police Department. The state has made numerous attempts at bringing the Antioch Police Department back to within acceptable standards expected by the government. Unfortunately, the state can only do so much since municipal law enforcement agencies are largely self-governed. Action taken by the state to try to heal the sick culture of the Antioch Police Department has had little effect, as can be seen in statistics for the department. A department that ranks at the very top in the state for shooting unarmed citizens. If there were ever a police department seeking validation for their actions by overzealous supporters, it would be the troubled APD. Likewise, if there was ever an overzealous supporter of the police who could use some favoritism, that person would be Nicole Cedano Silva White. She and her entire family show an adoration for members of the Antioch Police Department that is highly unusual and far from normal. She's an outspoken member of a group named Antioch Back the Blue. Nicole and her family have went so far as to cultivate personal relationships with most of the highest ranking officers within the Antioch Police Department, including the last several police chiefs. Nicole is very vocal in her support for the Antioch Police Department, and that vocalization becomes even stronger when accusations against the police are more serious. In one case where the Antioch Police Department is accused of killing an unarmed, innocent, mentally ill man, Nicole made the public statement that the Antioch Police Department is an amazing police department, and even added that the police never did anything wrong in that case. She even suggested that the man killed by police was responsible for his own death. Her reasoning was that the man would have not died if he had not broke the law. While it is unclear what law that may have been, it is certainly clear that it is not within the police department's duty to administer the execution of lawbreakers. Apparently, Nicole is either confused or intentionally lying when claiming that the APD is an amazing police department. Headlines in the local media for the last few years depicts an Antioch Police Department that has been racist, criminal, and senselessly violent against the community. A department that could rightfully be called amazing, but not in the flattering sense that Nicole gave. The comment she made could only be truthfully made by someone who shares the same culture of lawless hate and violence that the government investigators have uncovered to exist within the Antioch Police Department. It appears that Nicole and her family not only embrace the sick culture of the Antioch Police Department, that even their own behavior has emulated the same forms of violence and hate of those men in blue who they admire so much. The videos you see here are a sample of Nicole's family's seemingly constant aggressive behavior against members of the community. Innocent neighbors or anyone who Nicole develops a dislike for. The victims of her hate and violence have grown to the point that they have formed a group to share their pain and try to recover both physically and mentally from the violence exhibited by Nicole and her family. The big question on the minds of each victim is, why have the Antioch police done nothing to contain the aggressive woman? Each victim in the group has a similar story to report about the response by police, who are eventually called when Nicole's violence has progressed to violations of various laws. Each time the police refuse to take statements from victims, each time the officers refuse to view security video footage that shows Nicole breaking the law. It is quite apparent that the fanatical support for the local police has earned Nicole and her family enough favoritism by the police to avoid accountability by law enforcement, and she has experienced an unusual freedom to break the law at will without consequence.